It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's 2025, and the Greg Cherry Show is back.
We are here.
Oh, brother. Um,
Well, Oregon's getting the holy horse piss kicked out of them right
yes,
now.
yes, they are. And it's very interesting to me that that's how it's going down. Because, Oregon came into this game and,
Number one
undefeated.
in the nation, right?
Yeah, number one in the nation, undefeated Big Ten champs, the whole nine. And they look none of that part.
Yeah, they are not having a wonderful time right now.
So,
Meanwhile, everybody that's in Ohio State, Mark, is just up and joyous as Yosemite Sam.
mhm. And I'm sure they're looking forward to facing Texas, which I know like stranger things have happened in college football, but this is a very, very deep hole for them to dig out of.
Oh yeah, easily, very, very, very difficult to get out of. Did we miss anything over New Year's? Was there any news? Did anything blow up?
Well, I mean, the unfortunate news coming out of New Orleans is a big deal. Overnight,
I am a hermit, so I do not know. What did I miss?
so there was a driver of a truck who decided to plow through an entire crowd of people, killing
Like
at
a
least.
New Year's Day parade, kind of, or
I,
just drove on the sidewalk?
oh no! Like I think they were like intentionally trying to kill people, which they did. Um, I didn't read the whole news story. I'm gonna be honest. Um,
I didn't read the news story at all, so this is brand news to me. Holy shit.
yeah. So
That's the
as
worst
a
way to
result,
ring in a new year. So prayers and thoughts go out to those affected by that horrible, horrible incident.
yeah. Um, so apparently the driver killed about 15 people. It might have been more than that.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So like this was deliberate. This wasn't like they steered like off the side and like lost control. It's not like they were drunk. This was like an
No, this
intentional
was
like.
intentional. That's horrible news, especially to start the year off.
Yeah. So as a result of that, the Sugar Bowl that was to be played between Georgia and Notre Dame is actually postponed till tomorrow because that's happening in New Orleans.
In New Orleans, it always happens in New Orleans.
Yeah. So
Good. And a Tesla Cybertruck blew outside Trump Tower. Okay. So 2025 is ringing in explosive.
yeah,
That is a horrible.
Yeah, that's not. Apparently, the incident in New Orleans happened less than a mile from where the Sugar Bowl is supposed to be. So that's
like right outside the Benz Superdome, or no, it's the Caesar Superdome now.
Yeah. So the FBI or the officers had a firefight with the guy and he was killed. So that's good news at least.
Okay.
Because apparently the guy who did it had an ISIS flag in his vehicle. So
that's something.
Yeah, I'm just going off of what I'm reading. So
okay.
Not exactly like. I know this show isn't like a news show per se.
Oh, that is not at all what we want to do. Fuck.
Yeah. But I mean, you guys know how big of a Notre Dame fan I am, and like obviously there shouldn't be a game happening tonight, and there isn't because hope everybody.
That would have been your guys' game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so your guys' game's postponed until tomorrow. I was just about to ask you how Notre Dame's game went.
Nope, they're not playing until tomorrow, which the intent when I came on the Jeff Meacham like New Year's special last night was that this show was basically going to be me stressing out about Notre Dame, Georgia in like an hour and a half.
But now that's not necessary.
No, and I can get some sleep tonight, maybe. But if we are going to talk about college football, we are going to talk about the fact that, well, actually, since we're going to talk about college football, why not bring our sports guy in here? Ladies and gentlemen, Staff Boy Mike Caldwell.
Hello, my internet family. Happy New Year 2025. Great introduction right off the bat. Let's just get it out of the way. How y'all doing?
Happy
Well,
New
we
Year's,
got the unfortunate news about New Orleans out of the way early, so we just covered that, and now we're getting into college football.
What did I what I miss? I just got home. What I miss? What happened?
Oh, you didn't hear about this overnight? Okay, so apparently a guy who had like an ISIS flag in his truck plowed through like a crowd of people and killed about 15 of them. But like this was like an intentional act. And because of this act and it happening in New Orleans, they postponed the Sugar Bowl till tomorrow. So, which is completely understandable. Like, you want to keep the people of New Orleans safe, especially to make sure there are no other nut jobs around that area.
What a way to start off 2025. I'm sorry, man. That's just, oh my God.
I don't get where, we'll get into college football, trust me, we will.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why somebody feels the need, like what could go wrong in your life that you just want to take people out? But especially on like New Year's Day, everybody's just having a good time. New Orleans is known for being like a party type city. What motivates you to just be the most horrible type of human being?
I don't know, man.
So prayers for all this
tragic news to start the year.
It very much is. Prayers to all the families of the people who were killed and all the people that were injured and are getting medical help right now in the hospital. Just prayers for the city of New Orleans right now, and hoping that. And I brought this up. Thankfully, the guy who committed this is dead, so fuck him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Listen, I don't understand the motivation, and if you're going to commit something like that, then you deserve exactly what you get. Sorry, I'm not sorry.
Wow.
Okay.
Out of the way now.
It's out of the way. The incident's over. Hopefully everybody's safe. Let's talk about college football now. Arizona State, I'll tell you what, put up a hell of a fight in the early game. They had Texas down to a 4th and 13 in overtime, with Texas needing to score to stay in the game. Texas, in fact, scored on a 4th and 13. Took it to a second overtime, scored immediately, and then picked off Arizona State to end the game in double OT.
Wow.
Nobody expected Arizona State to get this far to begin with.
No.
So kudos to that entire program.
Exactly. It's easily the game of the tournament so far. Just
the
because
other ones have been blowouts, haven't they?
Yeah, pretty much. And this Oregon-Ohio State game is no different. I don't know if Oregon was thinking that they were coasting because they were undefeated. And sometimes when a program is undefeated, they get that little bit of air of cockiness, like, okay, all we have to do is show up. I don't know if that's the case with this Oregon Ducks team, but holy crap, was Ohio State motivated after they lost to Michigan. I'll tell you what.
They were ready to play. That's an understatement.
Yeah. And maybe it's something that they get this out of their system. Like, Oregon just happened to be the team that they faced after the Michigan game. I don't know, but this Oregon team, I felt like I looked at this Oregon team and was like, okay, yeah, they're 13-0. There was one game earlier this season where they didn't look good at all. And that's the game that I feel like Ohio State studied to figure out how they could beat Oregon. And I mean, it's halftime. It's what, 34-8? Is that what the score is?
Let me take a look.
It was 34-0 the last I saw.
I saw Oregon scored.
Okay.
There's life in them. I don't know how much,
Yep,
but there's life.
34-8. Oh my gosh. Maddie, your favorite fan is going to be so happy tomorrow.
Oh, I know.
Well, here's the thing. If Ohio State can put up that many points and a half, Oregon can do the same thing. I don't know if they will, but, you play two halves of football for a reason. So I got to ask you, like, Maddie, I know you're not a big college guy. You've mentioned that.
I followed college for the draft.
There you go. So far, like, moving on to the semifinals, you have Penn State, who defeated Boise State yesterday. Pretty much dominated Boise State, especially the second half of the game.
Well, again, we talked about it beforehand. Boise State got there because of the schedule, really. Boise State had Ashton Jeanty and not a whole lot else.
Yeah, and, this is the first year of the 12-team college football playoff. We're trying to see how this all works. I'm sure some adjustments will be made to the format as we continue to go along. Will the conference champions get the automatic buys? Again, that remains to be seen. Boise State having won their conference championship. I mean, I feel like their game plan was relying on Ashton Jeanty.
Oh, yeah.
Since Penn State shut them down, like you said, they don't have. If they're that one-dimensional and their one dimension gets shut down, what do you do?
Well,
like they had a couple good pass plays.
You put the best running back against the most dominant defensive line, probably in the college football playoff right now.
Possibly, especially since Riley Mills and the Irish went down, which hopefully, it's tough to replace that kind of experience.
Mm-hmm.
Riley Mills is a 50-year senior, and he played in 61 games. So, to lose that on your defensive line is not going to be easy to recuperate. But yeah, Penn State moves on. Texas moves on after an exciting game in the Peach Bowl against Arizona State. And right now in the Rose Bowl, Ohio State's having their way with Oregon. So, Mikey, I want to ask you, looking at two games that happened already, the game that's happening right now, and with Notre Dame, Georgia happening tomorrow, what do you think the semifinals are going to look like?
The Georgia-Notre Dame game is going to be excellent, okay? I've said that I wanted my Vols, which they got to the playoffs, yeah, but of course they lost to the Buckeyes. So I would have liked them to win, but I also wanted Georgia to have a chance to defend their title. So now, if they want to defend their title, they got to go through Notre Dame. But I'm also happy with Notre Dame if they beat Georgia, because I think they deserve a run at the title as well. So a matchup between Notre Dame and Penn State. If Notre Dame wins, I'm going Notre Dame all the way. If Georgia wins, then it's going to come down to the Texas and potentially Ohio State game right now, unless Oregon turns it around. So based off how things are going right now in this moment in time, I would want to see Texas go up against Notre Dame in the finals. But I'm also okay with Texas and Georgia.
The problem I have with Texas and Georgia is we've seen that game twice already this season. We saw it earlier this season, and Georgia defeated Texas then, and then Georgia defeated Texas a second time in the SEC championship. I don't know if I necessarily want to see that for a third time. And yes, I understand there's some Notre Dame bias here. Obviously, I want to see Notre Dame make the national championship.
Of course.
But if that doesn't come to pass, I wouldn't be excited about a Georgia-Texas three-peat in a season. I just, especially since like it's not exactly like a tiebreaker or anything. Granted, a national championship would kind of trump two other victories in the season, but that matchup doesn't excite me like other ones do.
Well, it's going to have to be biased for me because I'm being lucky enough to call the championship matchup at in about 20 days, which I'm looking very forward to. I would have liked it to be the Vols. No bias there. You know, and I even asked to do a watch along when Tennessee played Ohio State, but because of the outcome of that game, I'm glad it didn't. So, you know,
Tennessee was a big surprise this year too. They were very, very like a spark plug of a team with how young they were.
All the momentum we had when we started off strong. We had a loss in there somewhere. We beat Bama, which, let's face it, that was a great matchup to beat Bama. Anytime Tennessee can beat Bama is a great thing.
Anytime anybody can beat Alabama, it's a fun day for everyone involved.
Oh yeah. You know, I should have lit up my cigars with that. I wanted to do tradition. That's tradition, but I just didn't want to see the goalpost go into the common river. I did not want to see that happen again. I don't get that. And still, we had to end up giving Bama $100,000 for storming the field after winning. I mean, come on, it happens. So, you know, hey, it's gonna be a good matchup. Whether the defending champions get in, whether Notre Dame gets in, or whether Texas gets in, it's gonna be a good matchup with the 6 teams left now.
Yeah,
we just gotta wait and see where it goes.
The thing with the Notre Dame Georgia matchup that I think is the most intriguing is that Georgia's starting quarterback Carson Beck is not going to be playing in this game.
Oh no!
Well, he's out for the remainder of the playoffs. So, if Georgia were to get past Notre Dame, he wouldn't be available for the duration of the time that Georgia's in due to an injury that he suffered.
But wasn't Carson Beck one of the main detriments to Georgia all season?
I wouldn't say. I mean, they wouldn't be SEC champions without him. I wouldn't think.
Valid.
It wouldn't make sense to me. Now, Gunnar Stockton there's something weird about backup quarterbacks coming in because you don't have a whole lot of tape to go off of. So it's a little harder to study what exactly that particular player is capable of. So for Notre Dame, they have to stick to a game plan of containing the quarterback, especially if he is a mobile quarterback. Riley Leonard on the Notre Dame side is a mobile quarterback who can also throw the ball. So, you know, it's probably going to be a similar game plan for Georgia to try and stop Riley Leonard and to stop the rushing attack that Notre Dame has. Notre Dame's rushing attack is kind of a three-headed monster with Riley Leonard, Jeremiah Love, and Jadarian Price. Honestly, 3 spectacular people to have in your backfield if you're gonna have a trifecta. That's a hell of one to have. And you know, I've said this all season, especially since the loss to Northern Illinois, which I feel like has been a major motivating factor for this Notre Dame team, that they stick that loss that they had in week 2 in their heads. They've heard it through the national media for months. And it's like, oh, well, this Notre Dame team's not that good. I mean, who loses to Northern Illinois? And you know what this Notre Dame team did? They destroyed every single team that they have faced since that game. Look back at their schedule. There are teams on that list. Army was undefeated. Navy was undefeated when they met. Notre Dame blew both of them out of the water. This Indiana team that they just played a couple weeks ago, you know, they were 11-1. Their only loss at all was to Ohio State. And Notre Dame, like, you see the final score is 27-17. Doesn't really tell the story of how that game went. Notre Dame, for the first 58.5 minutes, dominated that game. Indiana just got a couple late touchdowns. Like, they had a late touchdown, and they kicked, like, the perfect onside kick, and then drove down and got another touchdown. But again, it doesn't tell the story of how that game went. Notre Dame controlled that game from beginning to end. So I don't know if I'm trying to like will myself to believe that this Notre Dame team can beat anybody that they face. But that's truly what I believe. I think this Notre Dame team beats Georgia. I do. And I don't know if that would be the same with Carson Beck. But then again, this Georgia team has lost a couple games that they probably shouldn't have lost. The Ole Miss loss, it probably hangs higher above Georgia than any other loss. That was what, an 18-point loss in the middle of the season?
Yep.
They almost missed the SEC championship because of that.
Well, the possible solution that I could see, and let me get your opinions on this, gentlemen. There's 134 designated college football teams in the NCAA.
Yep.
First out of 2025. Why not have those 134 teams? Why not whittle them down to 64 and do the same thing as in basketball? Why not have a super football championship? That way you have more football so that these teams, i.e. Alabama, who got snuffed this year, because let's face it, and they lost 3 times, okay? That's the thing. Alabama lost 3 times. But there was another team in the 12, I believe it was SMU. I believe they lost 3 times as well. So why not figure out a way to make 4 16-team brackets and do March Madness football style?
So, counterpoint. SMU was only in the playoffs because they held their own in their conference championship. They were a 2-loss team, and their second loss was in that championship game.
Right, okay. So I must have
and Clemson won that championship game as a 3-loss team. So since they were a conference champion, they got an automatic bid. So actually, had SMU won that championship game, Alabama likely would have been in. Now, that argument also, I think, doesn't hold a lot of water because if you look at the ReliaQuest Bowl yesterday, Alabama lost to Michigan.
Yeah.
Who Michigan was like, what, a 7-win team? Now an 8-win
Michigan
team
was
again?
not good this year.
No, Michigan fell off the map because they won the national championship last year, and a lot of people say under dubious circumstances. Say about that what you will. I'll leave that alone. But, Michigan came in. They got their asses stomped by Texas earlier this season. They did not look like a Wolverines team that could compete. Granted, in the game, they beat Ohio State, which, quite frankly, probably is the only thing that the Amazing Gold can, cheer about. But is it Amazing Gold or is it Bloom? Whatever. But yeah, the Michigan Wolverines beat Alabama, which kind of tanked a lot of people's reasoning that, Alabama should have made the playoffs, or Ole Miss should have made the playoffs, or South Carolina should. Basically, a bunch of SEC homers who don't really know what they're talking about. Listen, Texas almost lost to Arizona State, which, granted, Arizona State was a good team, and they went to double overtime with them. If Texas would have lost and Georgia would have lost, there would be no SEC teams left in the playoff.
Mm-mm.
Because you would have Arizona State, you would have Ohio State and Oregon, who are both Big Ten teams, Penn State, who is also a Big Ten team, and Notre Dame, who is an independent. So Texas, right now, is your only SEC representative pending tomorrow's game. So if the SEC champion loses, your sole representative is a team that was not in the SEC last year. It makes me very curious to know, what people are thinking, where it's like, SEC is, the dominant conference, and they're the only ones that should matter when it comes to the college football playoff. It should just be SEC and Big Ten teams and fuck everybody else for the playoff, blah, 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 blah. I mean, look at the SEC's record in bowl games. It's not a good one.
No.
It's not. By the way,
especially over the last few years.
especially over the last couple weeks.
Mm.
Oregon is only down 19 now.
Only
Only.
3 touchdowns.
It's better than being down 5.
Valid.
But yeah, let's look at this because I mean LSU won a bowl game yesterday. Good on you, Brian Kelly. You won a bowl game that nobody
Atta
really
baby.
good job, big game, Brian. South Carolina, who I mentioned, lost to Illinois. Alabama lost to Michigan. Did Ole Miss play theirs yet? I thought Ole Miss played theirs for some reason. They might not have. Now that they played tomorrow. Okay. There was another SEC team that people were saying had a chance to make the playoffs. I think they lost their bowl game too. I don't remember who it was. It wasn't Texas A&M. Regardless, like the people that were saying, "Oh, these teams should have been in the playoffs," and then they all proceed to lose their bowl games. It's like, okay, well, maybe the playoff committee got it right, and you guys just don't know ball.
Here is valid proof why you guys are wrong.
And I'm sure, like you hear like radio silence about people talking about the SEC once Michigan beats Alabama. It's like, okay, now what do you got to say? Because now Alabama might start the season like they finished the season 9-4. 9-4. You're talking about an Alabama team who might start in like the low 20s as far as being ranked next year. Which is something weird to say because during the Nick Saban era, you didn't really hear that. I'm just kind of following.
I know that you've got Notre Dame probably to win the whole thing, but you guys already talked about it.
I have that wish. Okay.
It would help. I mean, it'd be great. I mean, like I said, right now, if I had to go like who I want from, I'd go Notre Dame 1, Georgia with the 3-peat. Then I'd probably go Texas. Then if Oregon can pull it off, I'd put them next. Otherwise, I would put the Ohio State in 5 because they beat the Vols. So then I'd put Penn State 4, and then I'd put the winner of Oregon Ohio 5 or something like that, or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm so angry that the Vols lost.
Yeah. The first round of the playoffs was not kind to the visiting teams.
No, not at all. It's like we were doomed. It was like we were doomed from the start. I mean, it's like they didn't get a chance to. It's like they didn't play. Ohio State wanted it more, and I get that. That was great. And I had this entire plan. And Josh could have come in, and he could have been all. I would have, but had Tennessee won, I would have made him sing Rocky Top. I don't even know the words
voice
of
for
Rocky
it too.
Top, but I would sing Rocky Top in a heartbeat.
You would know him by the end of it.
Oh yeah,
Sure you would. All right, so we're going to steer away from college football for a little bit. We're going to let that Oregon and Ohio State game play out a little bit.
Let's let that game simmer a little bit.
Yeah, I want to talk about this.
The Royal Raffle.
All
The
right.
Royal Raffle. I am excited about this. We've already got several people entered into this thing. And, I mentioned it last night on the show. Big ups to our guy, Maven, for donating to this.
That was awesome of him.
It is awesome. And I think I vaguely mentioned it last night, but I mentioned in the video when I made it that like it's going to be a 25-25-50 split. Like the 50 goes to the charity. It's going to be way more than 50% going to the charity because like the amount Maven donated, I feel like needs to go to the charity.
Oh yeah, and knowing Maven, he put that in for the charity. Like,
So, yeah, a good. When I say a good percentage of that is going to the charity, I mean a good percentage.
and I don't even. I'm his co-host. I don't even know the sum that Maven sent.
I tell you what, I'm not going to reveal that. I'm not going to let anybody know until I make the donation post.
Because that's going to be a special moment.
It is going to be a special number. I'm excited because I think we've already surpassed or we're getting close to the amount that we donated last year to the 988. So with only like a few people entered into this thing, that's awesome. So I'm really excited to see where that's going to go. I say we only have a few people entered, but those people got multiple spots because I'm not holding the, okay, you can only buy a certain amount of spots. Like you can only buy one per, and then afterwards you can get as many as you want.
Up.
I'm leaving it open, but I want to get as many unique entries in this as I possibly can. And those unique entries will have their numbers drawn live on the show in 4 weeks. So if you have multiple entries in this, you'll have one number drawn for each Rumble on that episode, and then I will let you know what the rest of your numbers are after that show.
After the fact.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Rumble, to not to veer too far off the raffle, what are your feelings on this being the first Rumble not in January?
It's weird.
We gotta wait a whole nother fucking month until the Rumble.
We do. We have literally a full month until the Royal Rumble because it's on February 1st. It's weird.
Yeah, because it was always like the January tradition. Like, you always expect it to be the end of January.
Yeah.
Now it just feels nasty.
And I don't know if they're doing it to like, well, since they run on Saturdays, I guess they don't have to worry about the NFL. Because that used to be a big problem on Sundays. They would typically run the week in between the Super Bowl and the championship games, like the conference championship games.
Mm-hmm.
But since they run on Saturdays, they don't have that problem anymore.
Also, congratulations on hitting your parlay, by the way, this past weekend. I told you, the Lions had you scared. The Lions had you scared.
I didn't expect the 49ers to take it to them like that. And then, fortunately, Dan Campbell woke the Lions up in the second half.
Yeah, I was about to say, what did I tell you in the chat? They have the most overpowering offense in the league.
Dude, listen, I can't complain about this season at all. Before this season, I had never hit a parlay in my life. I've hit 3 this year. So I can't go.
Dude, what's the secret? Because when I was on FanDuel, I only hit 1.
So Greg's been doing spreads. He's doing spreads.
I don't go for individual gameplay because I realize I'm really bad about that. So I pick point spreads for the game. And sometimes I go with the alternate point spreads if I'm like, okay, I think this team will win by a little bit more than 3.5. I always go with half points too, because I don't want any of the tie bullshit. It's like, hey, I think they'll win by 4, and they win by exactly 4, and then I lose because it said, it has to be more than 4.
That's when you get more upset is whenever it hits that number that's of the half. That's when you get upset.
It happened to me once, and I was like, never again am I betting on a straight number. It's got to be a half.
Oh, dude, basketball does that shit to me all the damn time.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
Mikey, your bet hit during baseball season, didn't it?
I didn't make any bets. I haven't been on FanDuel since the summer because I just or maybe even hockey season last year. I mean, that was what I hit it, and then I think I played it smart, and I just said I'm going to let it relax for a little bit. But it was earlier this year that I tried it. I wanted to do it for football season, but life came into play because now I have 2 vehicles in my possession.
Oh Lord, that's always fun.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember, but I think in one of the last episodes of on the Jeff Meacham Network or somewhere in there, I made the announcement that I had a 2015 Kia Sportage, and I had been Ubering for quite some time, and then this just recently happened. Literally on December 23rd, the Sportage decided to die. The engine seized up. Now I have a 2021 Chevrolet Trax.
Hey, Chevy Trax are nice though.
Yeah. So, somewhere in there, I decided to become a responsible adult. And I said, well, do I put more money into FanDuel or do I put money into the gas tank? And I chose the gas tank.
Gas tank. Priorities, dude.
I don't blame you.
Priorities.
Listen, I can't complain about the parlays I hit because I'm betting with other people's money.
Oh, dude.
Well, here's the thing. I use an app called Fliff, F-L-I-F-F, and you can get like up to $5 for free every single week as long as you like log into the thing and redeem the rewards. So I know how bad I am with sports betting. I was like, I'm not putting my own money into this. So if I decide to bet, I'm going to use the free money that they give me and try and cash out there.
That's
Good
big
idea.
brain moves.
That's what I've done. It's like, why would I use my own money if I can make money without having to invest anything? So that's what I do.
Greg is a smart man here.
It's genius.
See, this brain's not just for wrestling, buddy. But yeah, I'm very excited about the Royal Raffle. The fact that we've got a few people in already, the fact that prize pool is going up, and I want to push this as hard as I can. I want to make this bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every single year. So I put the video out. It's on the YouTube channel, along with all my Royal Rumble reviews that I'm doing. Go share those. If you're watching right now, go share those because this goes to a great opportunity for, somebody if they want to make a little extra money, to make up from Christmas, or if they just want to contribute to a charity, which is always a good thing. Go share that video because I want to get as many people involved as I possibly can. We filled it up last year. We filled it up and had some extras. So I am excited for the possibility of doing that again. It was the first year that we actually filled it up was last year. So I'm hoping both of you join because both of you have been in the
Oh yeah, you're definitely
Yeah.
gonna get me in there.
Absolutely. I can come in on 1 or 2 rides and yeah, absolutely. Put me down.
Yeah.
I'm in.
And you already know I got to get in there as your co-host.
Yeah, of course. I'm already in. I'm already in for my one. I don't do any more than one because I figure it's like, yeah, it's a nice little starter. I'll put myself in there, see if maybe I win. I haven't won yet, which is perfectly fine. I don't need to win. I just want to be involved somehow. I love doing this. I love doing it, especially since it's associated with my favorite match of all time. Like I love the Rumble.
And it's for a good cause every time.
Adding the charity element to it and like making it not just like a 50-50. Like I think like the first year we did like $2 a piece. And it's like, okay, some of it's going to go to the channel. It's like, I don't think people will be drawn to that. So why don't we instead donate the money to a charity so like we get more involvement and we actually like raise money for a good cause? And that's what we've done the last couple of years. I think it's been a hit.
And it just always feels good to raise money for a good cause as well. Like, last year was 988 and we raised a good amount of money for them.
We raised almost $250 for them last year.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with the Raw Ball channel. Like every year we try to raise money for the 988 as well. So it's always good to raise money for a good cause.
It is. I'm really excited about it. Jeff, of course, at the Kings game. So,
yeah, Kings doubles.
How are the Kings doing right now?
I
Anybody
will
got
tell
eyes on
you
that?
right now, Matty Laws. I can do that for you right now. Just give me a quick second here, because Stat Boy needs some work doing a lot here. Let's take a look and see what the Kings are up to right now in the standings in the Pacific Division. They are, as we scroll down, they are in second place. They have 43 points. They are 6 behind the Golden Knights. Their record is 21-10-5. So they're on a 2-game win streak. They're doing okay, and we don't talk
They're
about the
doing
Ducks
all right.
because they stink right now.
Happy Disney team.
Dwayne says, "What are your thoughts of maybe the Rumble going to 2 nights next year?"
Well, okay.
I
The
can
Royal
play-
Rumble already has only 4 to 5 matches on the card because of the 2 Rumble matches.
Mhm.
I don't like the idea of 2 nights specifically because we have 2 Rumbles.
Let me say this. With the introduction of the Women's Intercontinental and the Women's United States Championships, it might not be a bad idea to do it because you have so many championships that could be on the line as like the undercard for the Rumble matches. You can have the Women's Rumble main event one night. You can have the Men's Rumble main event the other night. I think if you're going to do it that way, you can have women main event one night, men main event the other night, and that would be fine. You don't have, obviously, you're not going to do both Rumbles on the same night because
No.
why would you go to the Royal Rumble and not see a Royal Rumble match? Like, you have to have, if you're going to do 2 nights, one Rumble has to be one night, one Rumble has to be the other night, period end.
Hey, bro! I got us tickets to the Royal Rumble. I could only afford night 2. Oh, awesome! They got to have a Rumble match on there, right? Right?
Imagine how pissed somebody would be if they bought tickets for the Rumble. It's like, oh yeah, the Royal Rumble is tomorrow. I could only afford tickets for today, and the main event is like a 6-person tag. There's actually no Rumble match tonight. Why did you buy tickets for this night? Who would do that? That's why you have to split them up.
That would be bad, and for some reason, I have a feeling that there would be one year that would happen.
I feel like they would at least, if you're going to have both the men's and women's Rumble on one night, throw a tag team Rumble on the first night or something. Like, give them a Rumble match.
You're throwing that shit back to WrestleMania, 13?
They did a tag team Royal Rumble one time on Monday Night Raw.
Yes, they did.
And I'm not sure if that video has come out yet. It may have. I haven't looked at the list because I set my schedule like a few days ahead of time. So that match may have popped up in my playlist. But yeah, they did the Rumble one time in 1998 as a tag team Royal Rumble. I think it has potential, especially with as loaded as the roster is. Throw some tag teams in there. Throw some like other people in there. Like, if you're going to do it, do it. You know what I mean? Especially if you're going to get some tag teams from AEW, like Penta and Rey Fenix.
I like the idea of, put the men's Rumble on one night and the women's on the other. That makes sense.
It does. If you're going to break it up into 2 nights, have one Rumble be one night, main event, have the other Rumble the other night, and main event.
Again, especially if you only have 4 matches on the Rumble card as is. Like, you're gonna get that burnout between those 2 matches on one night.
Yeah. So obviously if they go to 2 nights, they're gonna have a little more of an undercard than just 1 or 2 matches.
Oh yeah. You'll have at least, want to say 8 matches between the 2 nights, maybe 10 if we're lucky.
Well, I mean, you gotta, like you said, you have the new women's IC, you have the new women's United States. Throw those batches in there. Throw in an IC title match. Throw in a US title match. Throw in a championship match, and throw in a grudge match of some kind, if anything. Throw in a tag team match. Throw in something. Give us something. Make it 5 matches, like 3 title matches, the Rumble, and a grudge match of some kind.
Because for
you
too
have
many years, we've had one half of the tag team champions enter a Royal Rumble for no reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dwayne's asking what the payoff would be if you do a. Did I click on that? There we go. Come on. There.
Bless you.
What would be the payoff be if the tag teams main events of WrestleMania? Here's the thing: the winner of the Rumble gets a title match. We hold on to the they main event WrestleMania.
That don't
We've
happen.
seen that's not the case. Okay, the Women's Rumble winner has only main evented once.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, twice. Take it back, twice. 35 and 37.
There you go.
So 36, Charlotte challenged for the NXT Women's Championship. So that wasn't main eventing. 38, who won that one? Ronda Rousey. Ugh, that match was terrible.
I wonder what she's up to lately. I haven't heard anything about her.
39, Rhea Ripley won, challenged Charlotte Flair. That was not the main event either. And WrestleMania 40, Bayley won and had a match on night 2. Again, not the main event. So, and Asuka's championship match at WrestleMania 34 was like third on the card. So we need to stop saying they're going to main event WrestleMania. They're going to get a world championship match at WrestleMania. That's what we need to be saying. We need to stop holding on to the fact that this could possibly main event. People get into way too many arguments about that. Just say they're getting a championship match at WrestleMania. And leave it at that.
Who do you guys think should win this year's Royal Rumble? I think we're close enough to it now that we can.
Yeah, I feel like the women's is wide open. I really do. And I feel like part of it hinges on the first Raw Netflix match between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley.
I could see Liv winning it.
You can see Liv winning the Rumble.
Yeah.
Why would you? So Rhea beats her. Then
based on what you just said, I could actually, I wouldn't.
Rhea wins the match on Netflix. Liv wins the Rumble. We continue the shit to Mania.
I think the person that I didn't mean to cut you off, Maddie. The person that I would be really shocked, and I said her name so many times during War Games, Tiffany Stratton. That'd be a shocker. If the Rumble
would be because she'd have the Rumble win and the briefcase.
Hey, first time for everything. You never know.
There is.
I don't know. Because a couple months ago, everybody was saying it should be Naomi. It should be Naomi. I still think we could stick with Naomi potentially winning it.
I can't see Naomi winning it. I can't.
I
see
wouldn't
Bianca winning it easily.
Dwayne says Charlotte wins it.
I mean, Charlotte's been gone for a hot minute, but she's already won a Rumble.
I like Charlotte, but I do not want to see the play where I came back and I won the Royal Rumble. I'm tired of that play. I don't like it.
To throw her back on TV after a year and immediately thrust her into the title picture, it's the same Charlotte booking over and over again.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to see, if you put Charlotte in a high-profile storyline without a championship, which I don't think she's ever had in her career, and she's been around for over 10 years now. She's never had a high-profile storyline that did not involve a title.
Well, she also gets injured a lot. She's been injured too, you know. Her legacy is cemented just by her name alone.
Yeah. She's
got the looks, she's got the athleticism, she's got the charisma, she's got the character. She doesn't need anything more. I would say put her Hall of Fame already. Because don't get me wrong, I was high on Charlotte for at least 2 years. I'm really digging this. Now I'm over it. I'm done. I don't want her to be done. I don't want her to finally hang up the boots. But it's You're here, you're there, you're here, you're there. You're the queen. We know this. We know this. You know, I'm over Charlotte. I really am.
Okay.
Dwayne says he wants somebody from NXT to win. Wow.
And
Oh,
that's
there's
where I
one
was-
name. There's
That's
one
where I
name.
was gonna go.
If
I
we
was
have
gonna go. I was gonna go with a surprise, potentially, Jordan Grace to win it for the women's.
That would be cool.
It would be hot shot as a motherfucker,
Yeah.
but it would work.
If somebody from NXT won the men's rumble,
Bye, Maddie.
if it's not Obafemi, who is it?
Say his name and he appears.
He should be in it. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see Joe Hendry in the rumble.
And if
But-
that happens, while we're calling it, our clips should be put in the doggone clips that when all the podcasters go on and their
I
head explodes.
I saw the clip from last year's when I think Jordan Grace came out. I saw the clip from like JJ stream. It was included in that. So
Really?
yeah,
I definitely have to go back and find that because
it's in one of the compilations because it was JJ Noah. I don't remember who else. It might have been you. I don't know. I don't know who was all on the stream.
I know I was in. I think I've done 2 calls with them, but I don't know if I was. I mean, if you can find the link, send it to me. I'd like to see that clip. But we're all gonna lose our minds if Joe Hendry shows up in the Rumble. We're all gonna
Absolutely. I need to just get over myself and stick a camera in my face for the Rumble so I can record my reactions.
Yes,
I need to get over myself because
Devin and I won't be doing anything. If you want to do a stream, let us know.
I'm not going to do a stream. Like I'm just talking about like me sitting in front of my TV and watching it because I have people over every year. So it's one of those things where it's like I just want to have a camera on my face, just talk normally, have it record while I'm doing my stuff, and then go from there. Just that way, so I can upload my reactions and hopefully get some traction. But yeah,
Who gets the men's though? Because I don't.
maybe Punk.
I'd be okay with Punk. Do they really want to play the Cody three-peat?
Cody's champion.
So why is that? Why would that do anything?
Why
not have
would
the champion?
If they're gonna
Cody's
do-
not losing that championship before WrestleMania?
If they're gonna do another 3-way like it's looking like, have Braun Breaker drop the title at the beginning of the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Have him win the Royal Rumble.
Good one. Excuse me. Sorry.
Again, another hot shot, just throwing somebody up all the way to the top. But I feel like Braun Breaker has shown that not only does he have the charisma and the mic work to get things working, but he's got such explosiveness in the ring that he would be a very believable world champion.
I would not be surprised at all if Obafemi wins the NXT championship at New Year's Evil and Trick Williams is in the Rumble.
I can definitely see Trick Williams in the Rumble.
Imagine that freaking pop. As soon as this music hits, you get like 50,000 people chant "Whoop that Trick." It would be nuts.
And he's already made his appearance on the main roster before to help Carmelo Hayes, and he had a huge pop for that appearance.
He did.
So the audience clearly knows who he is.
So Mikey, you sent me a graphic. The thing with the StreamYard free plan is they don't allow you to put graphics up without paying for it. So
Okay.
So I'm still in the process of looking for a streaming service that I like. I looked at Riverside. I don't
It's
know.
just a good free one.
It's a free one, but I might try it next week, honestly. And if I like it, then we'll try and plan a jack of all trades because I'd like to get another one of those done because we haven't done one since the one with Maven.
Mhm.
Are you and him like best buds now?
Oh yeah, I texted him yesterday about the Royal Raffle.
Really?
Yeah. And I fully did. I was like, hey, you should donate to this. I didn't say anything like that at all. I just kind of wanted to show him, it's like, hey, this is something we do. Maybe share it with some people or whatever. I didn't expect him to donate. But Maven's a good dude. So
Oh yeah, Maven's an incredible person.
absolutely love him for that. All right. So we're going to end a couple minutes early. It looks like Oregon's already kind of ending early. Yeah, Oregon is down 4 scores with less than a full quarter to go. So,
Oh no.
Sorry, Ducks fans. I don't think it's your year this year.
I'm an Anaheim Ducks fan. It's never been our year.
If you've got HBO Max, it's the simulcast to end all simulcasts. Apparently, AEW is now on Max. So, if you've got a subscription, go ahead. Tune into AEW Dynamite here in 4 minutes.
Absolutely. So we're going to end it here, guys. Please go check out the Royal Raffle video. If you can't enter, please do. I would very much appreciate it. I'm sure the people with the charity would greatly appreciate it. It's a big deal for me every year to do that. So
Can I go ahead and plug that stuff real quick?
you can. I don't have the graphic for it.
That's fine. That's fine. On January, let me make sure I get the date correct. On January 20th, I get the call, part of the watch along series for the championship game. Whichever 2 teams are in the finals. On that day, I'll be sitting in the Simply Reliable Studios with the live watch along and reactions and all that. Whenever the game starts, more than likely an hour before the game starts will be like pre-show, and then from beginning to end until the final whistle, and the winner of this brand new 12-team thing comes up. I'll be calling that. So I can't wait for everybody to see that. Follow me on Twitter or X, however you want to call it, at LBStatKid1977. Use the hashtag StatBoyApproved. Drop me a line. Let me know what you want to know, and I'll ask it. I'm still semi-retired. I still got to go out there and work. I've got 2 cars to pay for now, and who knows what 2025 is going to do for me. I'm very happy to be part of all this stuff. Great football talk yesterday on the channel yesterday. That was great. I'm really sorry I couldn't be there. I zonked out at 10:30 last night. It's wintertime in Tennessee. It's cold. My allergies have kicked up. I just said, I'm going to bed. I didn't even watch the ball drop. So, hey. But I got this brand new coat that I'm happy of, and I love it.
Hey, if my Christmas gift that my wife ordered me like 3 weeks ago gets here, I'll show it off on next week's show. That's a teaser for next week. I ain't telling you guys shit.
Tune in.
Anyway, thank you for watching. Go enjoy Dynamite since the Sugar Bowl isn't on till tomorrow. Thank you for watching the Greg Cherry Show. Check out the Royal Raffle. Go Irish. Don't be a Jag. And we'll see you next week on the Greg Cherry Show.
That way out.